are Lexus. Once boring and conservative, they've finally hit their stride. They're a headache the Germans can't get rid of. And, having nailed their sedan and SUV game, it was only a matter of time before Lexus turned their attention to fast touring coupes.
I'm Tom Baker, and this is Chasing Cars, and we're here in beautiful Lennox Head near Byron Bay to drive this, the Lexus RC 350 F Sport. More than just an equivalent to the Sharp IS sedan that we reviewed last year, the Lexus Coupe is also a bold alternative for those considering the BMW 4 Series or Audi A5. And starting at just $66,000 and fitted with a 3.5-litre V6 and rear-wheel drive as standard, on paper the Lexus RC looks to be a tremendous luxury bargain.
When you're building a coupe, looks matter, and Lexus has these lines all right. There's an amorous drama and aggressive sense of occasion to the RC that makes it quite unique.
The RC demonstrates the most refined Lexus cabin yet. Is it up to BMW standards? Well, in some ways it is. These front seats are tremendously soft and comfortable even over a continuous 1,000 kilometers of driving, and the driving position itself is very focused and low, offering sweeping views out. But in other ways, the interior of the RC isn't quite up to 4 Series levels. The Infotainment System, for example, based on the new Lexus remote touch system with this trackpad, is definitely better than it used to be, but it's not as fluid as the rotary dials used by the Germans, and the frankly quite small 8-inch screen up there locks you out of crucial functions like entering a destination while you're on the move. However, the Mark Levinson stereo system fitted to this F Sport model is frankly quite exceptional, as are the quality materials, all of which feel soft, including this lovely small steering wheel here. And the sunroof is an option that we'd go for too, as it lifts this rather dark black cabin, although there are 4 leather choices if you prefer something more unique. So we took the RC 350 on a couple of road trips, one south of Sydney to Canberra, one north of Sydney to Byron Bay. In total that came to 2,500 Ks, and we saw the RC 350 on the whole gamut of Australian road conditions. Long 110 km/h stretches, country back roads, in-town driving. And overwhelmingly the impression is that it drives rather well. In some ways it drives a lot like the IS, and that's quite a good thing because we found that the IS was a sharp handler, and at the moment they do share a powertrain. The RC for now is only available with a single engine, which is the 3.5-litre V6 producing 233 kilowatts of power. But we know this will be joined later this year by a 5-litre V8 in the RCF. And I wouldn't be surprised if Lexus deployed their new 2-litre turbo coming out soon, the NX200T, in the RC as an RC200T. But for now, we have the old 3.5-litre V6. And our main concern with this engine over our long 2,500 Ks with it was fuel consumption. However, this turned out to not be that much of a problem because our total fuel efficiency over the entire trip was actually 8.8 litres per 100 kilometres. The official combined figure of the engine is 9.7 litres per 100 kilometres, so we were very pleased with that figure. And of course all of the normal hallmarks of a naturally aspirated V6 were there. It's very smooth, there's not a lot of torque in the bottom end, but it loves to be revved out and paired to a slick shifting 8-speed automatic transmission. There's plenty there for it to work with. The engine's also quite a sweet sounding unit, perhaps not in the traditional sense of an old naturally aspirated BMW straight 6, but instead what it provides you with is this kind of technical, precise sounding whine as you wind up the engine, and it certainly does sound like a quick machine, and it feels it too, with a sprint time to 100 of just 6 seconds. The RC does go around corners with aplomb, particularly in the F Sport, which does have variable drive modes to let you really get the most out of the car. And there's also a little bit of assistance from the rear wheels in the F Sport, which means that for a heavy, long 2-door coupe, this thing really does handle a mountain road like it probably shouldn't. The ride is all traditional Lexus. It's very supple and luxurious when you want it to be, and never too firm. And most of the time, noise is fairly well managed, but we were surprised at how rowdy it actually got in the cabin of the RC over coarser Australian highway surfaces. Quite loud, in fact, that it made conversation a little bit uncomfortably loud. What's absolutely certain is that the RC does attract attention on the road, particularly when you choose it in one of the brighter colours, like this orange one. Perhaps in a more muted colour, it wouldn't bring out the boy racer competitiveness in everybody else on the highway, but it certainly did in this car. and it does win most of its drag races. It is a safe car as well, with all cars coming with a reversing camera, which is good, and parking sensors, and it's particularly safe if you option the base luxury and mid-spec F Sport model with the option package that brings the radar cruise control and lane departure warning, and those features are standard on the flagship Sports Luxury. Unlike other Lexus products, there's still no cap price servicing program, which makes it difficult to estimate your maintenance costs over the life of the car. However, it does still come with the famous Lexus service experience, where they'll actually drop a car at your place in the morning and return your RC to you that night, leaving you a loaner car to use, which is always a nice feature.
The RC isn't perfect, but it's deeply capable at a very attractive price. But more than that, the RC is a symbol of a new, emotional Lexus. A Lexus we like.